Global warming. Global warming is a phenomenon brought about by increase in the global temperature, which is a result of human activities ranging from burning of fossil fuel, oil and gas, and other energy sources. All these energy sources and the burning of fossil fuel releases gases such as carbon dioxide, oxides of nitrogen, oxides of sulfur, nitrous oxide, and the rest of them. All these gases are collectively, even methane, all these gases are collectively known as greenhouse gases. So the question now is how or what is the relationship between global warming and the greenhouse gases? Don't forget, greenhouse gases are those gases released into the earth by human activities, which involves burning of fossil fuel, oil and gas, and the rest of them. All these activities of us or humans releases these gases, which are called greenhouse gases. Now, what is the connection between greenhouse gases and now global warming? It is very simple. Don't forget that global warming is an increase in the global temperature. And we have established the fact that what causes that increase is because of the greenhouse gases, which the activities of human beings created. Now, it is very simple. The ultraviolet light or radiation from the sun will always strike the earth. And the ultraviolet light has a higher energy. So once it strikes the earth, it is expected to reflect as lower energy infrared radiation. Get it? High energy ultraviolet radiation from the sun will strike the earth. Remember, we learned about ozone layer depletion. So because the ozone layer now has spores or has holes, so ultraviolet radiation can easily strike the earth without something protecting it, without that protective covering called ozone layer from attracting or absorbing this ultraviolet energy. Then, if that lower energy infrared radiation tries to reflect. Remember, ultraviolet light will hit the earth, it's expected to go back as infrared radiation. So what plays a major role here is that those greenhouse gases which have accumulated on the earth will not allow this infrared radiation to escape into the space. It will trap this infrared radiation from escaping. Thereby, what do you think will happen? It will make the earth's temperature to increase. If not for the greenhouse gases, what the infrared radiation could have done is to go back to the outer space. But because of the activities of these greenhouse gases, it would absorb this infrared radiation, causing an increase in the temperature of the earth. That is what we call global warming. Global warming. So now it is very simple. Assuming you lock up yourself in your room, lock up yourself in the room, you bring out your cooking, maybe cooking gas, you close the windows, you are there in the room cooking, and there's no place those heat can escape. What do you think will happen to that your room? That your room will be heated up, as in it will heat. Nobody can stay there because there's no way those heat can escape. The wall must have absorbed the one it can absorb. So all other heat will be concentrated inside that room. That is how global warming set in. So if this infrared radiation cannot escape into the outer space, the greenhouse gases will trap it, making the air temperature to increase. Don't forget, this increase in the global temperature has drastic consequences for the climate. And that is what brought about climate change because the climate has been affected. Don't forget, in science, temperature is a major factor. There are some substances that cannot dissolve unless when you heat it. That is increasing the temperature, which will invariably increase the average kinetic energy of those particles. It will start vibrating. Now it will dissolve. Now, since the temperature of the earth has now increased drastically, climatic changes will be observed. Flooding, climate change with its drastic consequences, flooding, extinction of wild animals, sea level will be rising, flood, drought, and all the rest of them. All these things will affect the climate. Rain will no longer fall when it's supposed to fall. You will be having intense heat. All these things are the consequences of a global warming. So all these things are interrelated. If you see ozone layer, see global warming, see climate change, they are interrelated. So that is why we should watch our activities. Don't forget that methane is one of those greenhouse gases. Just like I have said, carbon dioxide, you have methane, you have like this nitrous oxide, all these are oxides of carbon and oxides of nitrogen. Remember that this carbon dioxide is needed by plants for photosynthesis. So, like human activity, when we now engage ourselves in deforestation instead of afforestation, we start cutting down trees. There is no way this carbon dioxide will be used by the plant because the whole plant has been cut down. What will happen? This carbon dioxide will be released back to the earth. Remember, it is a greenhouse gas. Just as agricultural activities and the burning of all these fossil fuel releases all these oxides. So when all these oxides are released, they become accumulated, preventing infrared radiation that could have escaped into the outer space. It will prevent it from escaping, making the global temperature to rise with its drastic consequences. Just try to correlate ozone layer, global warming, and now climate change. See you next time.